Welcome back to the deep dive. You know that feeling, don't you? That persistent, often quiet yearning for something. Something beyond the daily churn. A desire to truly connect, to understand life in a way that feels deeper, more resonant than just surface-level information.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost universal, that sense.
We've all felt that unspoken longing, I think, a craving for profound insight that often feels just out of reach, like a melody you can almost hear but can't quite grasp.
And it's more than just idle curiosity, wouldn't you say? Our sources, which draw from a fascinating blend of ancient mystical traditions and even some modern psychological observations, they describe this as an inherent human drive.
An inherent drive.
Yeah, it's a seeking of resonance, a fundamental desire to connect with something grander than our immediate experience. It's like an internal compass, always pointing towards a more profound engagement with existence itself.
Absolutely. And today we're going to unpack a concept that speaks directly to this universal quest, soul talk.
Soul talk.
And our sources don't just present this as like a poetic metaphor. They actually describe it as a surprisingly tangible experience.
Tangible? How so?
Well, like a conversation that often goes unnoticed, maybe.
Yeah.
A direct line to our inner self and indeed the wider universe.
Yeah.
Think of those aha moments.
That's the ones that just arrive.
Exactly. They arrive fully formed without conscious thought or, logical deduction. Our sources suggest these aren't random flashes, but direct, spontaneous insights from a deeper intelligence.
So not just random brainwaves.
No, it's an incredibly rich idea, hinting that these profound dialogues are happening all the time, if only we learn how to truly tune in.
That's a powerful point. Soul talk, as we'll explore it in this deep dive, is presented as an authentic, often spontaneous form of communication or insight that completely bypasses our conventional, logical, analytical thinking.
Bypasses it completely.
Yeah, it's a way the soul expresses itself, not merely as an individual entity, but in its dynamic connection with something far greater and more encompassing.
So bigger than just us.
Much bigger. It's about receiving wisdom without needing to consciously ask for it, or even understand its origin intellectually. It's often experienced as an intuitive knowing, a sudden clarity, or a deep sense of alignment.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is clear then. We're embarking on a journey through the different forms of soul talk, as revealed in the intriguing sources you've shared. We'll explore exactly where and how these profound dialogues occur, and most importantly, what tangible lessons they can teach us about our existence, our place in the world, and, well, the intricate workings of our own inner landscape.
And stepping back, the broader implication is that our goal here is not to prescribe a single rigid path to achieve this connection. That wouldn't really work, would it?
No, it feels too personal for that.
Exactly. Instead, it's to illuminate multiple perspectives on this deeply personal form of communication, acknowledging that it shows up in countless ways. By doing so, we aim to ensure that you, our listener, gain a richer, more nuanced understanding of how you might already be experiencing soul talk in your own life.
Or how you might become more open to it.
Precisely. How you might open yourself more fully to its subtle whispers. It's about recognizing the diverse and often surprising languages of the soul.
And prepare yourselves, because the variety we're going to cover is truly fascinating. We'll move from the quiet wisdom of conversations with nature and that profound experience of being alone with the alone.
Which is a phrase in itself.
It really is.
Nice.
Then we'll get into the paradox of presence that challenges our very notions of effort and striving, and even the unexpected profundity found in the raw, unfiltered emotions of laughter and sadness.
Yeah, the full spectrum.
It's going to be quite a journey, I think, revealing unexpected avenues to connection.
Definitely.
Okay, so having set the stage for this deeper quest, let's now plunge into the first and arguably most accessible avenue for soul talk that our sources pinpoint. Those profound, often solitary conversations we have with the universe itself. They describe it beautifully as when we are alone with the alone. It's such a poetic, almost mystical phrase, isn't it?
It really is. It instantly conjures images of deep solitude, but implies something far grander than just mere isolation.
Right, not just being by yourself.
Exactly. A compelling aspect of this phrase is the precise distinction it draws. It implies more than mere physical solitude, more than simply being by yourself in a quiet room. It's a specific state of mind, wouldn't you say?
A state of mind. How so?
Well, an intentional openness, a deliberate attunement to engage in a two-way dialogue with something vast and unseen, something that transcends individual identity.
So it's not just talking at the universe.
No, that's key. It's not just sending out your thoughts and feelings into an echo chamber hoping for a response. It's profoundly about cultivating a deep receptivity to its response, to the subtle feedback loop that arises.
The feedback loop.
Yeah. The state of being alone with the alone suggests a conscious effort to quiet the internal noise, the worries, the to-do lists, the mental chatter.
All that stuff that usually fills our heads.
Right, to shed the layers of social conditioning and daily distractions, to truly become available for a broader, more expansive awareness to emerge. It's a space where the ego's usual demanding voice is minimized, allowing for a deeper, more universal connection to become palpable.
That makes sense. And when we delve into the implications of being alone with the alone, it evokes such a powerful psychological and spiritual space. This is fundamentally different from simply being lonely or isolated.
Completely different. Loneliness often carries connotations of unwanted disconnection or a painful lack of companionship.
Yeah, it feels negative.
Exactly. This alone with the alone state instead feels deliberate, even sacred, a chosen solitude for a higher purpose. It's a space where we actively choose to retreat from external demands to foster an internal connection.
A chosen retreat. I like that.
Our sources suggest that in this state, we peel back the layers of individual identity, allowing for a profound sense of interconnectedness to surface. It's a space where the boundaries between self and other, between personal and universal, begin to, dissolve a little.
Dissolve, wow.
And we perceive a deep underlying unity. Could this be why so many spiritual traditions across the globe, from the hermitages of Christian mystics to the vision quests of indigenous peoples or the solitary retreats in Buddhist traditions?
They all emphasize solitude, don't they?
They consistently have. They seem to understand, perhaps instinctively, that this deliberate aloneness facilitates a unique connection to a universal consciousness, or a deep underlying interconnectedness that's typically obscured by the clamor and distractions of everyday life.
So the noise of life gets in the way.
It really does. This state acts as a kind of crucible, refining our internal landscape until we become sensitive enough to perceive the subtle currents of what our sources call the great talk of the soul.
The great talk of the soul.
Yeah, it's about stripping away all that is superfluous to reveal the essence of being.
Okay, that paints a powerful picture.
Precisely. And our sources go on to highlight that the most direct form of this soul talk occurs in our dialogue with nature.
Ah, nature. That feels very intuitive.
Doesn't it? This speaks to a larger truth about our relationship with the natural world. It suggests that nature acts as a primary conduit, an exceptionally accessible entry point to this larger conversation.
Why nature specifically, do you think?
Well, perhaps it's because it offers an unfiltered reflection of universal patterns and processes that are less obscured by human constructs, societal expectations or technological interventions.
Less human noise again.
Exactly. Unlike complex human interactions, which can be fraught with misunderstanding, judgment, or hidden agendas, nature simply is. It presents raw, unfiltered existence, the relentless cycle of growth and decay, the intricate balance of diverse ecosystems.
The seasons changing.
Right, the rhythmic changes of seasons, the quiet resilience of a stone, the boundless expanse of the sky, all unfolding with an inherent wisdom that we can observe without needing to intellectualize it, without needing to analyze it through a human lens.
So it's just there, offering itself.
It provides a mirror, untainted by judgment or agenda, for our own inner processes and questions.
That's a truly beautiful and insightful way to frame it. I think many of us have experienced a moment like that, even if we didn't consciously label it soul talk.
Oh, I'm sure.
Consider, for a moment, you, our listener, recalling a specific instance of profound connection you felt in nature. Maybe it was gazing at a vast mountain range that just humbled you with its ancient power.
Yes.
Or listening to the relentless rhythmic crashing of the ocean waves that calmed your restless spirit. Or perhaps it was something as simple as observing the intricate resilience of a tiny wildflower pushing through a crack in the pavement, defying all odds.
Those small moments can be incredibly powerful.
They really can. What does that feel like in your body? Was there a sense of peace, a sudden spark of insight, or maybe a feeling of being intricately part of something much larger than yourself?
That feeling of connection.
Yeah. That, according to our sources, is you engaging in a direct, unmediated dialogue with the universe through nature. It's that visceral, undeniable feeling of being in conversation with something timeless.
So, given this deep connection, How does this dialogue with nature actually manifest? How does it, happen?
Good question.
Our sources explain it can happen directly in our feelings and our desires. Then we can hear the dialogue in our inner self.
In our feelings and desires.
Okay.
This points to an intuitive, almost visceral understanding that transcends mere thought. Our emotions and our deepest aspirations aren't just personal reactions or fleeting wants. They can be interpreted as a language, a form of feedback from the universe or our deeper self, a silent message arriving in a felt sense.
A felt sense, like intuition.
Exactly. To hear the dialogue in our inner self implies a form of heightened self-awareness, a finely tuned internal radar where we discern meaningful patterns and messages within our emotional and aspirational landscape. It's about recognizing when a feeling isn't just a fleeting mood or a passing annoyance.
But something deeper is speaking.
Yes, a resonant echo of a deeper truth, a guiding insight that bypasses words entirely. It sounds like it's about learning to differentiate, then, between the everyday feelings and desires that might arise from, say, a rumbling stomach or an immediate craving for caffeine or just fleeting frustration with traffic.
The daily static.
And those feelings that truly constitute soul talk. This suggests a quality of depth, right? A profound resonance or an insightful clarity that transcends typical emotional responses.
Definitely a different quality.
So how does one truly tune in to this inner self to genuinely hear it? What does that look like practically?
Well, it might involve deliberately slowing down, perhaps. Creating dedicated space for quiet reflection.
Turning off the phone.
Absolutely, and allowing those deeper, more subtle feelings to surface without immediately labeling them or judging them or dismissing them as unimportant.
So less analysis, more allowing.
Precisely. It's about recognizing the subtle whisper of intuition, that gentle nudge or sudden knowing over the louder shouts of immediate gratification, fear, or external pressures.
Can you give an example?
Sure, maybe a strong, inexplicable pull towards a certain creative path that defies conventional logic, something your rational mind argues against.
It just feels right.
Exactly. Or an overwhelming sense of peace and rightness about a decision that feels almost unearned by logic. Those could be profound examples of this inner dialogue. It's a trust in the wisdom that arises from within, often surprising us with its clarity.
Okay, trusting that inner voice. Now, moving beyond our purely inner landscape, the sources speak of another equally powerful pathway. Reading the world, finding signs that we find in the natural world. And these signs, it says, don't just exist externally, they function as a mirror of our soul.
Ah, the signs in nature. This is fascinating. Now, this isn't about superstition, right? Or trying to find omens in every falling leaf or cloud shape, as if the universe is sending us cryptic, literal messages.
Right, it's not like getting a text message from a tree.
Exactly, not quite, in the grand scheme of things. It's more about recognizing profound, meaningful patterns. It's about discovering resonance between the external environment and our internal state.
Resonance.
So a natural sign, perhaps the silent, majestic, and soaring flight of a hawk overhead when you're wrestling with a feeling of being trapped.
Oh, I can picture that.
Or a particular evocative cloud formation resembling a vast open door when you're contemplating a big life change. Or even the unexpected resilience of a single tenacious weed pushing through concrete, which resonates with your own inner struggle to persevere.
So the sign connects to what's inside.
Precisely. It becomes a mirror because our interpretation of it, how it strikes us, often reflects our current inner state, our unspoken questions, or our deepest aspirations. It's the external world echoing or giving form to the internal, offering a visual vocabulary for what might be wordless and unformed within us.
And this next point truly challenged my understanding at first, yet felt incredibly insightful once it clicked. Consider this scenario. You might be contemplating a big life change, maybe feeling a mix of apprehension and excitement about stepping into the unknown.
A common feeling.
Definitely. Then, you step outside your door and your gaze sweeps across a vast open sky, stretching endlessly, boundless in every direction. In that moment, you suddenly feel an overwhelming sense of possibility and freedom, a deep knowing that the world is open to you.
Ah, that feeling of expansion.
Or maybe the opposite. Perhaps you're struggling with a personal challenge, feeling emotionally drained, and you come across a gnarled, ancient oak tree, its roots deeply embedded, weathering centuries of storms. As you gaze at it, you feel a profound, unexpected connection to endurance, resilience, and strength.
Like a quiet reassurance.
Exactly. A quiet reassurance that you, too, can withstand what life throws at you. How does that observed sign provoke a specific feeling or thought that feels significant, deeply personal and yet somehow universal in its message.
It's powerful how that happens.
It's not the sky or the tree telling you what to do, is it?
No, not directly. It's more like serving as a powerful, nonverbal catalyst for an inner realization, a moment of profound recognition.
A catalyst. Good word. And this leads us to ponder. How might cultural or individual perspectives shape what signs we notice and how we interpret them? Is there a universal grammar to these signs, a language that speaks to all humanity?
Or is it deeply personal?
Right. Unique to each individual's journey and inner landscape, influenced by our own experiences and beliefs. It's fascinating to think about.
It really is, and the sources culminate this section by stating that walking through nature is an allegory of our own existence, and crucially, if we pay attention, it offers direct and easy access to the great talk of the soul.
Walking as an allegory. Why walking specifically? Why is that simple physical act elevated to such a profound metaphorical journey?
Well, it's likely because the physical rhythm of walking, especially when unhurried and mindful, creates a unique meditative space. The changing landscapes we traverse, the winding paths, the unexpected turns, the uphill climbs.
The effort and the rest.
Exactly. The moments of effort and the moments of rest, the dense forests and the open clearings, all mirror the journey of life itself, don't they?
They really do. It's a perfect metaphor.
So it's an embodied, dynamic form of soul talk where the external path reflects the internal one and the easy access part. That suggests it bypasses our usual intellectual filters and overthinking or constant need to analyze and categorize.
So it gets past the busy mind.
Precisely. Instead, it engages us holistically, our senses, our body, our emotions, and our spirit simultaneously. It's an invitation to simply be in the unfolding moment, letting the external environment subtly reflect and inform our inner world.
It truly is like a moving meditation, isn't it?
Hmm.
What makes this easy access so profound, do you think? Is it the meditative quality of the repetitive motion which allows the mind to settle and open?
That could be part of it. Or is it the constant, varied sensory input from the environment? The scent of pine, the sound of rustling leaves, the feel of the earth underfoot that grounds us firmly in the present moment.
Grounding, yes.
Or perhaps it's the detachment from the relentless stream of daily distractions that often cloud our minds, allowing for a more open, receptive state.
All of the above, maybe.
Quite possibly. When you're walking with intention, your mind is less likely to get caught in the familiar loops of daily worries, anxieties, or future plans, creating space for deeper insights to emerge. The very act of moving forward, step by step, can be a profound metaphor for navigating life's challenges and discoveries, for accepting the journey with all its unknowns.
It connects our physical being to the vastness of the natural world.
Facilitating a dialogue that is both grounded and expansive, a quiet communion that feels both ancient and deeply personal.
Okay. From the profound stillness and dynamic movement of nature, let's now explore another fascinating aspect of soul talk, one that challenges our conventional understanding of mindfulness and conscious effort. Moving from the vastness of nature to the immediacy of our everyday moments, our next source clearly states that soul talk is about spontaneity and presence.
Spontaneity and presence, together.
Right. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Just be present. We hear that phrase everywhere, tossed around in self-help books and wellness apps, almost to the point of cliché.
Not as simple as it sounds indeed. A compelling aspect of this is the absolute coupling of spontaneity with presence. It implies that genuine soul talk doesn't happen when we force ourselves into a particular state of awareness through sheer willpower or when we rigidly adhere to a technique.
So no forcing it.
No. Rather, it arises naturally when we allow presence to emerge without premeditation or conscious effort. This isn't about doing presence, it's about being present, letting go of the need to control the experience.
Being, not doing. Okay.
The inherent link between spontaneity and presence suggests that one profoundly informs the other. Can you truly be present? That is, fully open and receptive to the unfolding moment if you are not spontaneous, allowing whatever arises to simply be?
Probably not. You'd be filtering it.
Exactly. And can true spontaneity exist without a foundational presence that allows for unscripted engagement? This suggests a state of flow, unhindered by conscious striving, where our perception of the moment is fresh, unburdened by past expectations or future anxieties.
A genuine dance with reality, as you said earlier.
Yes, an unforced alignment with the unfolding now.
And then the sources reveal a truly unexpected twist. A paradox that really made me pause.
It's paradox.
It says, if we try to be in it from the egoic, will we lose spontaneity? And with it, the presence is blocked.
The egoic will.
Yeah, this is a fascinating turn because it implies our very effort to achieve presence, to master it, can be the very thing that pushes it away.
It's counterintuitive, isn't it?
Totally. It's like that familiar experience of trying too hard to fall asleep. The harder you strain and worry about it, the more elusive sleep becomes. The intention, when driven by the ego, ironically becomes a barrier.
Stepping back, the broader implication here is a profound insight into the very nature of true presence. When our sources talk about egoic will, they're not just talking about being selfish or arrogant in the usual sense.
Right, it's a specific meaning here.
Yes. They describe it as the part of us that seeks to control our experience, to force outcomes, or to perform presence as if it were a task on a to-do list.
It's the inner manager.
Exactly. The inner manager, always striving, always judging, always seeking to optimize, and paradoxically, this very striving can create a barrier to genuine, spontaneous connection. The ego, by its very nature, wants to analyze, categorize, and control, which is antithetical to the unscripted, open, and effortless quality of true presence.
It tries to box it in.
It does. It's
Yeah.
trying to fit the vastness of the moment into a preconceived notion of what presence should feel like. And in doing so, it utterly misses the actual raw experience. Think of trying too hard to force yourself to relax when you're stressed.
Never works.
Right. Or attempting to be mindful during a conversation by constantly monitoring your own thoughts and feelings. The effort itself becomes the obstacle, creating a layer of self-consciousness that separates you from the unmediated experience.
That makes so much sense. And it prompts us to consider, how does modern life, often driven by goal setting, productivity metrics, and a constant pressure for achievement, make this kind of egoic will presence particularly challenging?
It really does. We are conditioned to strive, to attain, to conquer. And this source suggests that for true presence, we must actively unlearn that very conditioning and cultivate a deeper trust in simply being.
Unlearning. That's tough.
It is.
So if we lose spontaneity because of this egoic will, what exactly takes its place? The sources tell us that presence is blocked in favor of well-established protocols of behavior.
Protocols, like programming.
Yeah, whether those of basic emotions or those that we have learned with our daily habits, it paints a rather stark picture of our lives being run on autopilot, doesn't it?
It does. With very little genuine engagement, it begs the question, what exactly are these protocols?
Good question. What are they?
They are our automatic ingrained responses. They are our deeply ingrained default settings. Instead of fresh, open engagement with the unique newness of each moment, we default to these pre-programmed patterns.
Like knee-jerk reactions.
Exactly. This could manifest as an automatic fear response in situations that don't warrant it, a habitual surge of anger at minor inconveniences, or simply going through the motions of our day based on deeply learned routines and expectations without truly experiencing them.
Just going through the motions.
These protocols act as a filter, a pre-programmed script that we run unconsciously, preventing us from truly engaging with the raw, spontaneous reality of the moment. Instead of responding authentically, we react habitually, often missing the richer layers of interaction and insight.
And it mentions basic emotions becoming protocols, too. How does that work?
Well, consider how basic emotions can become protocols when driven by ego. Rather than genuinely feeling a wave of sadness and allowing it to simply pass through us, one might fall into a habit of expressing sadness in a certain familiar way.
Like playing a role.
Exactly. Perhaps seeking sympathy, wallowing in self-pity, or using it as a justification for inaction. Here, the emotion becomes a role we play, rather than an authentic, direct experience.
Got it. And the daily habits part.
Similarly, think about how deeply ingrained daily habits prevent us from experiencing the newness in each moment, even familiar ones. A daily commute that you no longer truly see or register.
Total autopilot.
Right. A meal you eat without tasting, or a conversation where you anticipate the other person's response based on past interactions, rather than truly listening with an open mind to their present words.
So you're not really there.
Precisely. These are all moments where spontaneity is replaced by an automatic script, effectively blocking genuine presence and, therefore, soul talk.
Okay. And this next point is truly thought-provoking, especially given the widespread embrace of practices like yoga and meditation in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
The sources unequivocally state any form of yogic technique distances us from presence. Now, this is going to make some people sit up and take notice and perhaps even raise an eyebrow.
Indeed, it's a highly provocative statement, and it's crucial, absolutely crucial, to understand the very specific context suggested by the source here.
Okay, context is key.
This isn't necessarily a blanket condemnation of all meditative or yogic practices in themselves or saying they are inherently bad. That would be a misreading.
So it's not anti-yoga.
Not inherently. Rather, within this specific framework of spontaneity and presence, it highlights what happens if these techniques become rigid tasks or protocols driven by the egoic will to achieve presence rather than an unforced, spontaneous opening to it.
Back to the egoic will trying to do presence.
Exactly. The real revelation for me was this. If the method becomes more important than the being, if we cling to the form of the practice over the spirit of it, it paradoxically becomes a barrier.
The technique becomes the goal, not the state itself.
Precisely. The moment a technique becomes another to-do item on our spiritual checklist, another protocol to be followed rigidly, the very intention of spontaneity and genuine presence can be lost. Imagine someone so focused on the perfect posture or the exact breathing count.
That they miss the actual feeling of breathing.
Exactly. They miss the actual living moment unfolding around and within them. The ego, in its pursuit of perfection or achievement, can hijack even the most well-intentioned practices, turning tools of liberation into subtle cages.
Wow. Subtle cages.
This challenges conventional wisdom about mindfulness and meditation, underscoring that the approach and intent behind any practice are paramount. It invites critical thinking. When does a helpful technique intended to guide us to presence inadvertently become a hindering protocol that distances us from it?
It's about the how and why, not just the what's.
Beautifully put. It's a powerful reminder that even the tools meant to free us can become just another form of self-imposed constraint, if wielded by the ego.
That's a profound and challenging distinction to make, forcing us to look at our practices with fresh eyes. Okay, so if deliberate effort, even in well-intentioned spiritual practices, can distance us from soul talk, where else can we find it in its most authentic, unforced expressions?
Well, that leads us to our next source.
Let's turn now to the raw, unfiltered, and often overwhelming emotions of laughter and sadness.
The raw stuff.
So we've explored the quiet wisdom found in nature's allegories and navigated the elusive dance of presence that shies away from egoic striving. Now, our final source takes us into the vibrant, often unpredictable realm of human emotion.
Right into the heart of it.
Highlighting laughter as another form of soul talk. This is fascinating because we often categorize emotions merely as reactions to external events, don't we?
We tend to, yes, just responses.
But here, they're elevated to something much more direct and profound.
It's intriguing how these powerful emotions are reframed not just as fleeting reactions, but as direct and profound forms of communication from the soul itself.
Communication from the soul.
Yes. They become undeniable conduits, revealing deeper truths about our existence that might otherwise remain unarticulated or even unconscious. They are spontaneous eruptions that bypass the intellectual mind and speak directly from a deeper, more essential part of ourselves.
Like a direct hotline.
Exactly. And by extension, our connection to the universal flow. These emotions, when truly felt and not intellectualized, suppressed, or controlled by the ego, offer raw, unmediated insights that can be incredibly transformative.
Okay. So let's look at laughter first. The sources make a really bold claim about it, stating, laughter frees us from the need for a meaning external to life itself.
Frees us.
There is a meaning to life beyond the concept of meaning itself.
Oh, that's a lot to unpack.
It really is.
It instantly shifts my perspective on something I thought I understood. It suggests laughter isn't just a happy reaction, but a kind of philosophical liberation. A sudden break from the intellectual quest for purpose.
Yeah.
Stepping back, the broader implication here is a powerful description of laughter as an act of profound liberation. In a moment of genuine, uninhibited laughter, the kind that makes your belly ache and tears stream down your face.
The uncontrollable kind.
Yes. In that moment, the intellectual striving to find or impose meaning from an external source, be it from philosophy, religion, or any prescribed societal framework, simply dissolves.
It just vanishes.
It does. The search ends because the meaning is no longer sought, but deeply experienced. It implies that the deepest meaning of life isn't something conceptual we grasp with our minds, something we define with words.
But something we feel.
Something we experience in its raw, joyful, and often absurd immediacy. Laughter is a direct tap into that inherent, non-conceptual meaning that simply is. A pure, unadulterated affirmation that life itself, with all its fleeting, messy moments, is enough.
Wow. Finding meaning beyond the concept of meaning itself. What does that truly mean, though? It's hard to grasp intellectually, ironically.
It is. It's like trying to explain the taste of a perfectly ripe mango. You can describe its sweetness, its texture, its aroma, analyze its chemical compounds.
But you haven't tasted it.
Exactly. The real meaning of that mango is the direct, unadulterated experience of its flavor on your tongue. Laughter, our sources suggest, allows us to taste life's inherent meaning without needing to intellectualize, define, or categorize it.
It's experiential.
Completely. In its unselfconscious abandon, laughter achieves this liberation by momentarily suspending judgment, analysis, and the constant human drive to impose order and logic onto existence. It's a spontaneous surrender to the sheer delight of the moment, a momentary truce with the endless search for answers.
A truce. I like that. And then it gives us this incredible, almost paradoxical image. Laughter is a variety of samadhi with form.
Samadhi with form.
An ecstasy of lucidity in the face of the ephemeral and evanescent nature of existence. That's a deep spiritual reference to describe something as everyday and universal as laughter.
It really elevates it, doesn't it? It makes you rethink its power.
Definitely. So what is samadhi with form?
Well, it begs the question. For those unfamiliar, samadhi in many Eastern spiritual traditions is a state of profound meditative absorption, often a deep inner stillness that can lead to a sense of spiritual union or oneness with the divine or universal consciousness.
Okay, deep stillness, union.
But our sources introduce this fascinating, almost contradictory idea, samadhi with form. Imagine that deep, universal connection, that sense of all is one, but instead of profound quiet or stillness, it erupts outwards.
Through laughter.
Expressed through the sheer unbridled physicality of laughter. It's a moment of ecstatic clarity, a joyous and lucid acceptance, not an escape from the fleeting, temporary, and ultimately dissolving nature of everything around us.
Acceptance of the fleetingness.
Yes. It's an affirmation of life precisely because it is ephemeral, a celebration of its transient beauty rather than a lament.
That's a huge shift.
Consider you, our listener, a moment of genuine, uncontrollable, perhaps even tear-inducing laughter. Maybe a burst of shared humor that caught you completely off guard, bubbling up from a deep, unexpected place.
We've all had those moments.
Did it dissolve your worries, bring you fully into the present, and make you feel intensely alive, utterly unburdened, even if just for a moment?
Absolutely, like a weight lifted.
How did that feel? Like a profound release or insight, a momentary but potent understanding that everything is profoundly okay, exactly as it is, even in its impermanence.
Yeah, a sense of it's all okay.
That's the ecstasy of lucidity the sources speak of. It's a moment where all the striving, all the intellectual gymnastics cease, and you simply are fully and joyfully present within the flowing river of existence, celebrating its very impermanence.
Incredible. But Soul Talk isn't solely about joy and liberation, right? It encompasses the full spectrum of human experience.
It has to, doesn't it?
The sources also include sadness, with a very important qualifier. Sadness, when not monopolized by the ego, is also a form of soul talk in which deep nostalgia is expressed.
That qualifier is crucial. When not monopolized by the ego.
So this highlights that even our darker, more challenging emotions can be profound conduits for deeper wisdom and connection.
As long as they aren't hijacked or distorted by our ego.
Right.
A compelling aspect here is that crucial distinction. It separates a profound, authentic sadness, perhaps a melancholic yearning for something beautiful, something lost, or something never quite fulfilled.
A kind of ache.
Yes, a deep nostalgia for connection or wholeness, for an ideal state of being that feels just out of reach. It separates that from what we might call ego-driven sorrow.
And what does ego-driven sorrow look like?
Well, ego-driven sadness can manifest as self-pity, resentment, blame directed outwards, or a persistent fixation on what should be, rather than a vulnerable acceptance of what is.
The shoulds and shouldn'ts.
Exactly. The ego, in this context, tends to personalize, to identify, to create a narrative of victimhood or unfairness around the sadness, making it about me and my suffering.
It makes it all about me.
Right. True sadness, in this context, is an honest, vulnerable, and unadulterated expression of the soul's longing, a kind of yearning soul talk that opens us to deeper truths about the universal human experience of impermanence, loss, and the nature of our attachments.
So it connects us to something bigger than just our own pain.
Yes. It's a pure, unadulterated feeling that connects us to the shared condition of humanity rather than isolating us in our individual pain.
What are the signs the ego monopolizes sadness then? How can we tell the difference?
That's a great question. It might be the repetitive thought patterns of why me, or it's not fair, a constant dwelling on the past in a way that fuels bitterness, or a turning inward into a self-focused narrative of grievance.
Getting stuck in the story.
Precisely. How does true non-egoic nostalgia feel different from regret or a superficial dwelling on the past? It's less about wishing things were different or replaying what went wrong.
Was about blame.
Yes. More about a poignant, tender recognition of what was or what could be, without the sharp edges of bitterness or the weight of personal accusation. This emphasizes the critical difference between authentic emotional processing, which allows the feeling to move through us and offer its insights.
And self-indulgence or the intellectualization of pain, which often keeps us stuck.
Exactly. Consider a moment of profound, perhaps unexplained, melancholy triggered by a piece of music, a work of art, or a scene in a film,
That happens sometimes.
which feels more like a deep yearning for something transcendent, a sense of universal human tenderness, rather than a personal complaint about your own specific life circumstances. That, our sources suggest, is sadness as authentic soul talk.
Okay. We've explored these distinct yet intricately interconnected paths to soul talk. They all seem to lead toward a similar kind of awareness.
Awareness, authenticity.
Now, let's bring these threads together and see what overarching wisdom they offer, guiding us toward perhaps a more attuned way of living.
Let's synthesize.
We've journeyed through the quiet profundity of nature's allegories, navigated the subtle challenges of spontaneous presence, and immersed ourselves in the raw power of authentic laughter and sadness. What overarching insights emerge for you when we consider these diverse forms of soul talk?
Well, stepping back, the broader implication is that what consistently emerges is a powerful, undeniable call to authenticity and a movement away from forced effort or rigid control.
Authenticity and letting go of control.
Yes. Whether it's allowing nature to speak to us in our chosen solitude, cultivating a true spontaneity in our daily lives by letting go of our inner critic, or experiencing pure emotion like laughter and sadness without egoic interference. Soul talk seems to flourish when we surrender to the moment rather than trying to control, manipulate, or intellectually grasp it.
Surrender seems key.
It really does. It's about letting go of the need to be in charge and instead allowing life to unfold and communicate through its myriad forms and subtle energies. This thread of authenticity highlights that our deepest connections and most profound insights don't come from external validation or contrived experiences.
Not from trying to be spiritual.
Exactly. But from an honest, open, and vulnerable engagement with our inner landscape and the world around us.
That brings us to some crucial overarching themes that bind these pathways together, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
Firstly, there's the clear message of authenticity over artifice. Each form of soul talk we've discussed requires us to drop pretenses, shed our masks, and engage with life as it truly is, in its raw, unfiltered state.
Being real.
Yeah. This fosters genuine connection, both internally within ourselves and externally with the world, because we're not operating from a script or a preconceived notion of how things should be.
No performance.
Secondly, it's profoundly about moving beyond intellectual grasp. Soul talk consistently seems to operate at a level deeper than analytical thought, engaging our intuition, our feelings, and our direct, visceral experience of being alive.
The felt sense again.
Right. It's about feeling or sensing meaning, that intuitive knowing rather than thinking it through logical deduction, a profound shift from the dominance of the rational mind to a more holistic, embodied understanding.
Absolutely. And a third overarching theme is the importance of engaging with the full spectrum of existence.
The good and the bad.
All of it. This isn't about escaping life's complexities, its challenges, or its ephemeral nature. On the contrary, soul talk encourages us to embrace them all, finding meaning and connection even in the fleeting moments of joy, the quiet solitude, and the profound depths of sorrow.
So not spiritual bypassing.
Definitely not. It's about realizing that every aspect of life, in its totality, holds potential for profound communication and insight. This prevents us from cherry-picking only the positive experiences and missing the rich lessons, the depth, and the resilience available in discomfort or melancholy.
Embracing the whole package.
Exactly. Finally, there's a distinct call to attunement. These forms of soul talk consistently encourage a heightened state of awareness and receptivity to what life is constantly communicating.
Listening more deeply.
Yes, both internally through our feelings and desires, and externally through the signs in the natural world. It's about being present enough to hear the subtle whispers, the gentle nudges, the profound echoes that our usual busyness and mental chatter often drown out.
Tuning into a different frequency.
You could say that. It's a powerful reminder that the conversation is always ongoing. We just need to cultivate the art of truly listening.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener, in your own unique journey? How might these insights encourage you to approach your own moments of solitude, your personal quest for presence, or even your rawest, most intense emotions?
Yeah. How does this land for you?
This isn't about adding another to-do list to your already busy life, is it?
No, please no. It's more about a different, more open way of being with what already is, recognizing the profundity in the everyday.
Finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
It begs the question, consider which of these pathways to soul talk resonates most strongly with you right now. Is it the quiet contemplation found in nature, allowing its allegories to speak directly to your soul?
Or is it that elusive grace of spontaneity?
Yes, letting go of egoic control to embrace true presence in every moment. Or is it the profound release and insight found in uninhibited laughter and authentic sadness, allowing those deep emotions to simply be?
Which door feels most open?
Exactly. Understanding which pathway calls most strongly to you can be a powerful guide, indicating where your soul is already trying to communicate most readily, where the channels are perhaps most open and waiting for your attention. It's about recognizing and honoring your own unique language for these deeper connections.
Your own soul's dialect, perhaps.
I like that.
As we wrap up this deep dive, let's briefly reiterate the profound potential for connection found in nature's allegories. The challenging yet beautiful path of spontaneous presence, and the unexpected wisdom held within authentic laughter and sadness. These aren't just abstract concepts, they are accessible pathways to a richer, more engaged, and ultimately more meaningful existence.
They really are accessible. It begs the final question, perhaps.
Yeah.
If soul talk is indeed a continuous, ongoing dialogue with the universe and our inner self,
Which the sources strongly suggest.
right, how often might we be unconsciously silencing these profound messages in our daily rush, our habitual patterns, or our ego-driven striving?
Probably a lot.
And what untold wisdom, what deeper sense of connection and meaning, what profound personal insights might we be missing by not pausing, truly listening, and allowing these authentic expressions to simply be without judgment or the incessant need to control?
That's a powerful thought to leave people with. What are we missing? So we invite you, our listener, to reflect on your own walk of life. How might you consciously create more space for these spontaneous, authentic dialogues to unfold?
No pressure, just an invitation.
Exactly. Perhaps it's something as simple as taking a quiet walk in a local park with no agenda, just noticing. Or allowing yourself a moment of uninhibited, genuine belly laughter, even if it feels silly.
Or just allowing a feeling.
Or simply allowing a wave of deep feeling, be it joy or melancholy, to pass through you without judgment or the immediate need to analyze it away, just letting it be.
We encourage you to observe your own lives, not as a task to be completed, not another self-improvement project,
Please know.
but as a fascinating experiment in openness and receptivity. Look for the signs that mirror your soul in the natural world. Listen to the intuitive whispers of your inner self that arise when you are truly present.
When you quiet the noise.
And embrace the full spectrum of your emotions, the lightness of laughter and the profound depth of sadness, as potential, powerful conduits for your own unique soul talk. The conversation, you see, is always there, waiting for you to tune in.